Hey all, welcome back. So in yesterday's session we have talked about randomization, like what is randomization, what is the need of randomization, why are we using randomization in system Verilog, what is the difference between randomization in Verilog and randomization in system Verilog. So for all these things we have talked in the yesterday's session. If you didn't see that session, I'll link that in the description box. You can go there and check it out. Also, if you are new to this channel, consider subscribing my channel and hit on the notification bell also. Please do like this video if you really like my explanation, and if you are having any doubts on this particular concept, you can ping me in the comment box. I will definitely answer you as soon as possible. So coming to today's session, we are going to talk about random Randc keywords which we have stopped in the yesterday's session. So what are these random Randc keywords? So for example, if you are taking a byte, some 7 down to 0, okay, some address, okay, this is my particular data type and this is my particular variable, okay. So in order to make this particular variable address to be randomized, that means in order to perform randomization on this particular variable, first this particular variable needs to be ready for randomization. What is it meaning, what is the meaning of this? It needs to be ready for randomization means first you have to declare it as a randomized variable, okay. So when you are giving it with a rand keyword, then that means this address can be randomized. If you are not using any rand or randc keyword before the variable, then you can't randomize it, okay. If you want to randomize this particular variable, only you can do it when that particular variable is rand bit or randc bit, okay, clear. So that is what, in order to enable randomization of the particular thing, okay, class variables need to be declared using rand or randc keywords, okay. So the rand keyword means that the variable or object can take any value within its range. That means if you see here, this is of 8-bit, address is of 8-bit, okay. So address is of 8 means it is having 2 power 8 possibilities. So among these 2 power 8 possibilities, based on how many times you want to randomize it, those many times, those many different random values will be produced. Is it or not? Only this can be done if you are giving a rand or randc keyword. Okay, now let us see what is the difference between rand and randc. Both will be same, like either rand or randc. Even though you are giving rand or randc, the only difference is that, okay, if you see here for this particular example, it is having 2 power 8 possibilities, is it or not? So when you are using rand keyword, there may be chance that among these 2 power possibilities, okay, there may be some possibilities which will be repeated, okay. Some inputs can be, some output will be, some possibilities among these 2 power 8 will be repeated. But when you are using the randc keyword, there is no such case. That means no repetition will be taking place until all the 2 power 8 possibilities are being covered, okay. So let me put it in some more simple example for you so that it will be easily understood for you. For example, if you see the example here, bit value 1 down to 0. So if you see here, 1 down to 0 means it is of 2-bit wide. So 2-bit wide means 2 power 2. That means 4 possibilities. Is it or not? So what are the 4 possibilities? 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay. So when you are using the rand keyword here, then what happens if you are using rand keyword here? Maybe when you want to repeat it for some 6 times, when you are repeating the randomization for 6 times, then there may be chance that the 0 1 1 2 3 3 in this way, okay, the repetition, or maybe in this way, like 0 0 0 2 3 3. That means among these 4 values there may be one value which may not be appearing, and there may be other values which may be repeating, okay. This may be the case when you are repeating for 6 times, okay. That means there may be repetition occurs when you are using the rand keyword. But when you are using the rand, see what happens, until all the value is repeated, until all the values are existing once, That means until all the values will be presenting, no repetition takes place. Rand cyclic. Rand C means rand cyclic. Cyclic in nature. That means until all the values are repeated once, then only until all the values will be existing at one time, then only the repetition occurs. Until and unless all the values are displayed once, then the repetition takes place after repeating all the values for one time. That means after producing all the values for one time, then the repetition occurs in case of Randc. But in case of Rand, that is not like that. Okay, it doesn't care whether all the values are have already produced has produced all the values, whether all the values are come one time and then the repetition takes place. This is not the case in case of Rand keyword. Okay, hope you got an idea on what is the difference between Rand and Randc. But even though it is ran or ranc also, you need to uh, uh, give the ran bit for the particular variable. Now if you see the example here, these are two examples. Okay, this is my example 1 and example 2. Okay, if you see here my class, okay, with named packet, and this is my byte address and byte data. So both are byte. Okay, so 8-bit wide. So I am giving a ran keyword for both things. Now within module initial begin, with for this packet I have created a handle and then object, and this is what I need to do, packet.randomize. That means I am calling the randomization method, because this is what this may here if you see here, by using the ran keyword, this address and data both has got the like we can just call it as these two got the ability to be randomized. Okay, so these two got the ability to be randomized by using the rand keyword. Okay, fine. But in order to randomize it, okay, just by giving rand and the rand keyword, this won't be randomized. In order to give, in order to be randomized, in order to produce the random value, you have to call the randomize method. This is already inbuilt in the system verilog library, and just by calling with the help of packet handle packet.randomize, this randomization method will be called and these two will be randomized, so that as soon as you are calling and if you are giving the display, then the random value for packet and data will be displayed. And end module. Okay, let us see this on the EDA playground so that it will be much more easy for you to understand. Yeah, if you see here, this is my particular value. Okay, so if you see here, this is the same thing that we have already seen. Now if you want to run this particular code, see if you see here, I have run this particular code. Okay, so after running it, I see I have got the two random values. Okay, I didn't assign any value, but since I have called the randomized packet, sorry, randomized method, so packet dot randomize, so what happens, I'm getting two values like 29 minus 95. Since it is byte, so it is both signed and unsigned values will be displayed, right? So this is how. Now for this same thing, if you want to increase the, now let us see if you are not giving it as a rand bit. Okay, now what happens? Let us see that you are not giving this address as rand and this byte as rand you have given. So if you see here, this particular data is only getting the random value for address 0, because since you are not giving this address as random bit, so it is not being randomized. So since it is not being randomized, what is its default value? Since you didn't give any value, the default value is 0. Okay, got my point? Now for this same thing, if you are giving rand and, okay, now if you want to repeat it, like if you want to see some bulk of values, then what you should do means, how many times you want to repeat, give those many, repeat 6. That means here I want to give 6 times, I want to repeat it second 6 times, and then begin and end, and then run it. Okay, so no, now if you are running this particular code, what happens? So now I'm running the code. Now see what happens, since I have given for repeat 6 times. So it is for 6 different random values are being generated. Okay, so address is 29, 95, 3, 94, 119. Okay, in this way different values and different things will be generated. Okay, for example, the same thing, if you want to generate some 15 values, you should just give some 15 and then run the code. That's it. How many times you are repeating, those many random values will be generated. Okay, so see, total 15 values are being generated. Clear? So this is how you will be using the rand. Only when you are giving the rand. For example, when even though you are generating for 15 times also, okay, if you are not giving address as rand and if you are giving only data, now if you see here, all the address is 0 because you are not giving the rand. That is the importance of rand and Randc. Okay, so the same thing for Randc also, but basically you don't see that much difference between rand and Randc when you are going for higher values, because there may be much less cases when it comes to repetition when you are going for uh, high width values and all. Okay, so this is the thing. Now for example, if you see rand and Randc, here if you see address is rand and address, this is Randc. So if you see here, among these values nothing will be repeated. Okay, but there may be chance for address where the values can be repeated. Okay, here I think no value is repeated, but mostly there may be chance for the address value to be repeated, but in data you will be having all the individual values, since until 2 power byte means 2 power 8 possible cells, until all the 2 power 8 possibilities are covered only, then only the repetition occurs in case of this particular data, since it is rand cyclic, Randc. Okay, so that is the difference between this rand and randomization and rand and Randc. And here you may get one doubt, what if I didn't give this packet dot randomize? Okay, what if I don't give this packet dot randomize? Now what happens? Let us see. If you are not giving, see, if you are not giving, if you are not calling the randomize method, then randomization doesn't exist. That's it. Okay, even though you are not using the rand keyword, randomization don't exist, don't work on. Even though you are not calling the packet dot randomization method, then if you are not using the packet dot randomization, if you are not randomizing that particular address, then the default value of that particular address only will be present, which is 0 obviously. Okay, so even though you are giving the rand even though you don't give address as rand bit also, randomization doesn't take place. Even though you are not calling the randomization method also, randomization doesn't take place. So these two are go one in another when you are using this randomization topic. Okay, so this is about the randomization. And in order to disable randomization, okay, for example, I have done my randomization and then I want to disable this particular randomization. So how can I do it? By using the particular thing called rand mode. Okay, we'll be discussing this in the next class tomorrow. Okay, so this is all for today. Thank you all.